You've sent emails, you've made calls, you've even dropped by in person, and you know they could use your product or service. And yet, still nothing but silence. There's a reason this happens, and I'm going to help you change it. Hi, I'm Jeff C. West. I'm the award-winning author of 4 business and sales parables. I have over 30 years of successful sales and leadership experience across multiple industries. I've shared the stage, both in person and virtually, with legends like Bob Burg and Brian Tracy. I know what it takes to help you win in sales and leadership, and I'm here to help you do exactly that. So let's get started. Today I'm going to take you through how to use FusionPoints in your prospecting. You know, when you're prospecting in the marketplace, you're generally going to find that your decision makers fall into one of 3 categories. The first category we absolutely love. This is a decision maker that knows they have a need, which quite frankly can be solved by your product or service. They may even recognize your company or your brand. So since they already know they have an issue that needs to be fixed, when you reach out to them and you make that contact, you stimulate a positive emotional response in their brain because they see that you may be able to help. So when that positive emotional response attaches to the logic of why you're asking for the meeting, the two communicate, the decision is to say yes. Don't you wish they were all that way? It's great. But then you've got a second group of prospects where the decision maker doesn't react like that. They think of an unexpected sales call as an interruption to their day, and they feel like they're very busy and it's going to be an issue for them. You create a collision point because they get a negative emotional response because you showed up unexpected. And when that attaches to the logic of why you're there, it produces a collision point. They push back. They say no, or they ignore you, or sometimes they don't ignore you. They get a little testy with you. And then you've got a third group of prospects. This third group, they don't really think about you at all. There is no emotional context. They have no reason to think about you because you've not given them one. Incorporating FusionPoints into your prospecting efforts will increase the likelihood that it's just the right time in that first group. It's going to decrease the collision points and increase the fusion points in that second group. And in the third group, where you haven't given them any reason to think about you at all, it's going to change that. They're going to be expecting you to call. But the key is when you create fusion points prior to asking for your first sales conversation, the percentages will increase in all 3 categories. Today, I'm going to give you 3 ways to generate fusion points before you ask for that first meeting. The first is an introduction from a common acquaintance. When you are introduced to that prospect through an introduction by a common acquaintance or a referral, what happens is very simple. They already know, like, and trust that other person. They have a good, positive, emotional relationship with them. So when that person introduces you to them, recommends that they grant you the meeting that you're looking for, you immediately borrow their credibility, but more importantly, you borrow that fusion point. That positive emotional response will link with the logic of why you're meeting with them, and your percentages will go up. That's the first way to create the fusion point. The second way that you can generate fusion points prior to asking for that first meeting is by priming the prospecting pump. Give them something of value, I'm going to suggest 3 times, before you even ask for the first meeting. And I'm going to get specific about that with you in a few minutes. And then the third way that I'm going to teach you to generate fusion points before they've ever met you face to face is in the phrases that you use. I'm going to teach you to use phrases that focus on their value proposition. Now, value proposition, even though companies are very well intended, I think they kind of miss the mark on. Because most companies think of a value proposition as something they do. It's about a value add that they add to their service, or it's about how their product does certain things better than the competition. But the truth is, that's really not the value proposition. The value proposition is 100% one thing. It's how your prospect's life gets better when they begin a relationship with you. It's about what they do with what your service or your product is and how that changes their world. In essence, when you get down to it, a value proposition is actually their value from your proposition. So I'm going to teach you to use phrases when asking for that first meeting, when doing various things along your sales process, to always be focused on their value from your proposition. Now today I'm going to teach you about priming the prospecting pump, providing something of value 3 times before you ever ask for that first meeting. The first way I always recommend is something about that company. Do a little research, find something about that company that is worth bragging on. Maybe it's a positive Yelp review or something you see on their company website that's a press article, but something that you see that is noteworthy that you could print it off, do a little congratulations note, and then add 2 sentences. Number 1, I'd like to meet you soon. Number 2, please expect my call. Get that to them, drop it off in person, send it in the mail, send it by email. You can actually do a video email that says basically the same thing. Do not ask for your meeting yet. Just say, I saw this, I thought it was cool, I would like to meet you soon. Please expect my call. There are any numbers of ways that you can do that depending on the logistics that you have to deal with in your sales model. The second thing I'm going to tell you that's a good idea is to find something of value that prospect can use that's specific to their business. I used to be in the employee benefit arena, so it was very easy to find articles on what the cost of employee turnover could be to an employer, because one of our benefits was the fact that we could help them reduce that turnover. So sending an article that draws out something that you know would be helpful in their business. Again, don't ask for the meeting yet. Don't get salesy with it. Just say, I saw this, thought this might be useful to you, then add those 2 sentences. I'd like to meet you soon. Please expect my call. The third thing I'm going to teach you to do when you're priming the prospecting pump is something that my co-author on Said the Lady with the Blue Hair does all the time. She has a service called send out cards. She'll find a picture of someone online, she'll pop it on the send out cards thing, she'll snail mail them a card. The system does that, and it says, I thought this was cool, or I thought it was cute. But then what you'll do is you'll add, again, those 2 sentences. I'd like to meet you soon. Please expect my call. When you do something of that nature, what it does, it just makes you stand out. No other salesperson who contacts this prospect is doing anything like that. When you do it, what happens is this. With each of those positive touches, you connect with their positive emotional center in their brain. They have a positive emotional response, and they like the way that feels. Also, with each of those, you've said, I'd like to meet you soon, which is true. Please expect my call. You're laying the groundwork for them to actually expect the call and your call to get through to them. So do those 3 things. Then when you call them and actually ask for that first meeting, those 3 positive emotional responses are going to connect with the logic of why you're calling them, and your percentages of people, especially in group 2 and 3, are going to rise. That's enough for today's video. If you're watching me on YouTube, below, click like, subscribe, do all those wonderful things that will help the channel grow. Also, feel welcome to use that share button. Share this with anyone in sales that you think could benefit. If you're watching on LinkedIn or any other social media platform, please connect with me, follow me. I'd love to have that connection with you. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.